guys, welcome back. This is the part of the class where we start talking about the Infused 7 kit. And I get really excited about this because it's really unusual to do training for business and then tie in emotions and then an oils protocol for business. And you got a real toolkit in front of you in the Infused 7 kit with all 7 of those oils, but also Oola Grow and Oola Balance, which were developed even before the Infused 7 kit was made. So I wanted to take just a moment and talk about some interesting stories that we have with these oils, because you don't always get to give the backstory with the oils, and I have a pretty cool story on Oola Grow. So I met Dave and Troy when we were on the Global Leadership Cruise to Venice. That was in 2015. We had just won that as executives. I'd only been in Young Living for less than 4 months. And I got on the boat, and my goal was to meet the Oola guys, was to meet these super famous,
need to dream bigger.
Crazy guys. These crazy guys,
You're
right?
just an executive. She didn't know.
Yeah, and so for 3 days, I walked the deck of this boat trying to find these guys, right? Couldn't find them anywhere. I was so frustrated. And to boot, I had my 3 oldest kids on the boat with me also, and they're little like party animals. And they're kids, right? They're kids. And so I would drop them off and they'd be hanging with all their kid friends. And then the kid area would close at like 2 in the morning. And so my kids would come back, and then I'd wake up at 6 in the morning and they'd already be gone back in the kid area in their little party part of the boat, having their little rated G, parties. And so I'm sitting there having a pity party because I've only been in Young Living for like this much time, and I didn't know anybody, and none of my upline was on the boat. So I was feeling really isolated. So I went down to my room and I was crying and watching leadership training and feeling very alone. And I kept trying to insert myself into conversations, and people would say, "Oh, that's really nice. You're from Chicago and upstate New York. That's great." And then they would just turn their back to me and start talking to other people, right? We're in the Mediterranean, so it's not like you're going to talk about weather, right? It's like 75 every day, right? And so by the 4th day, I was just downright discouraged. I couldn't find anybody. I didn't know what anybody looked like. I was brand new to Young Living. I was feeling really alone. And I went and sat in a hot tub, and there were a bunch of people there, and I started talking with them, and I leaned over and I had Oola Grow on me, and I'm just really drawn to the smell of Oola Grow. It's one of my favorite oils of all of the oils in Young Living. So I took it, and I'm just, dropping a bunch in my hand and just kind of oiling up. It was like 15 seconds. And all of a sudden, this one girl turns to me and she says, "So you're here all by yourself?" And I said, "Yeah." I go, "I've had like 12 meals alone." I go, "My kids have a bigger social life than I have right now, and I'm a grown adult, right? And everybody in the boat knows me as Grace's mom and Isaiah's mom and Gabe's mom." And I'm like, "My name is Sarah. It's really nice to meet you." And then they would turn their backs to me. Well, she just started chatting, and she said, "You know what? I'm part of this team, and you're welcome in our circle. We don't want you to eat alone anymore. Why don't you just hang with us for the rest of the time?" I said, "All right." And so as I'm sitting there, another guy that I was looking to interview, I turn around, and he's just sitting there by the pool. I was like, "No way. That's Jake Dempsey. That's the Oily Tools guy. I was looking all over for him." And so I sit down and I start interviewing Jake Dempsey, and I'm wrapping up the interview, and I'm holding my cell phone up, and as I'm holding my phone up, this guy goes walking behind me. And so Jake is just talking, and I'm not really paying attention to what he's saying. I'm looking behind me because it's Dave. It's the Oola guy that I've been looking for days, who I was convinced really, truly wasn't on the boat. And if he had gotten on the boat, somebody must have helicopter dropped him on, because I'd been in every single cubby. I didn't see him. So I wrap up the interview as fast as I can without being rude to this super famous diamond. And I start running because I can't see him anymore. He's already gone down the deck of the boat. And I just like running down there.
It looked exactly like that, actually, from the back of my corner of my eye. I saw it.
Legit, right? So I catch up with them.
It's like a 15-minute mile pace.
Yeah, it was a big boat, and I'm only 5'2",
She's running full
right?
speed. I'm carrying food.
He's got 2 plates of food. He's got his college-age daughter with him, right? And I get to the end of the boat, and I said, "Hi, you don't know me, and it's kind of creepy, but I would really love to interview you because I just wanted to get to know you. You have really inspired me. I've read your books." And he goes, "Dude, running the deck of a cruise ship is very Oola. You can ask me anything you want to ask me." And he's got all this food in his hands and just wants to eat his dinner. And it was awesome because in a span of like an hour, 4 people I was trying to find on that boat, I interviewed them like bam, 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 bam. And I was laying in bed that night and I'm thinking, wow, I had just put Oola Grow on, right? So maybe Oola Grow will help you interview a whole bunch of famous people. Maybe Oola Grow will help you run the deck of a boat, right? I don't know what Oola Grow is going to do for you, but for me, it's just one of my favorite oils.
I love that story because I remember it like it was yesterday.
It's like, is that crazy?
Because it was
blonde?
exactly that. I was carrying a bunch of food for the kids, and then someone came right up behind me, and I'm like, if you just sprinted a cruise ship, I'm in. Let's interview it. I gave my kids the food, and they went and sat down. We did the interview.
I remember zooming in on his food. Actually, the interview is still up on my website. If you want to go see it, you can go get it.
See that.
By the time you're watching this, I will have officially removed that video from the website. I don't
Oilabilityteam.com.
I need to go check this out.
Go check out the interview.
One of my just cool backstories that I feel like, just because you said, you know, how that you felt like that has a big part of what you do. It's one of your favorite oils. Is that when the whole Oola thing finally came about, when Mary Young read the book to Gary Young on a road trip, and he called us and he said, I want to have a meeting with the Oola guys because I want to talk to the Oola guys about a collaboration of essential oils tied into this message of a book. And I called Troy and started talking to him about this, and he's like, I don't know, man, because we got all these things coming in. Someone was making Oola blender, which I thought was cool. He thought was pretty cool. Someone wanted to make an Oola hoop, which I was like, yes.
Super bad idea.
And he's like, terrible idea. Well, let's check out this essential oil thing. So I went to the meeting with Gary Young and JT and the whole executive team, and we're sitting around this boardroom. He's retired at the time. This is right after the book came out.
You got to slow this down a little bit because things were coming in, so we didn't know like on
what
the
was
list.
legit.
Yeah,
and what
we were
wasn't.
sorting through things. So it's like, is this oil thing for real or is it another Oola hoop? Like,
Yeah.
It's for real.
Yeah, it's for real. Yeah.
This is back at the beginning.
Years ago.
So I was saying, wellness, purpose, and abundance, man. This is for real. Let's do this meeting. He's retired. He didn't want to come out of retirement, so he didn't want to do any collaborations. So how it all went down is we're in this meeting, speakerphone in the middle. Troy's on speakerphone, laying by his pool in Arizona. And I'm in this board meeting, and Troy and I thought at the time it was kind of a farmer selling oils, but it wasn't. It was a whole business and a whole team of people, and it's a whole executive team that I'm talking to. And when we got done with the whole meeting, this is how this all went down. Gary said, I want our members to live more of an Oola life, and I want to create some oil blends to help support that. We got up, literally shook hands. That was the whole deal with Oola and Young Living coming together. It was a handshake deal, shake hands. Cool, you're going to be at convention in 3 weeks with 2 new oils, Oola Balance and Oola Grow. I'm going to formulate them. He said, you guys need to be there. And then right when we were leaving, he said something that no one knows right here in this room except for Troy. He said, you don't know this. He said, is there any input that you guys want to have on the oils? And I'm like, I researched you, Gary. Thank you. I'm so humble that you asked. But you're the Oola guru. I mean, you're the oil guru. So we're good. Like, no input from me. No input. And then I could hear the speakerphone kind of crackle. And it was Troy by his pool. And he goes, I'd like to have some input in the oils. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he has no idea what we're doing. And his input was to make Oola Grow kind of like a Red Bull to jack people up, and make Oola Balance kind of like a pina colada to just chill people out. And I looked at Gary and I said, okay, the deal's going to be off. And Gary started laughing and said he has no idea what we're talking about. And I am so thankful that Gary didn't take his wisdom, the Oola guru.
You like blasphemed
and he
Gary's ears.
Yeah, he laughed. He laughed.
got it.
He laughed. He shook my hand. He goes, "We're in. We'll see it. We'll see you in convention in 3 weeks." And we're at convention with Oola Balance and Oola Grow.
But being a business class, the coolest part of that story is we speak to companies all across America and the world for that matter. I'm telling you, to have a leader that most people turn and burn their people. They get people in, they work them until they can work them. They're no more of value. They push them out the door and bring in new blood. Like Gary saw something in this, in you, that yes, we want you to have an amazing Young Living business. We want you to go up the ranks and have financial abundance and help us with this mission of wellness, purpose, and abundance, but not at the expense of these other things that are equally as important, like your relationships, your personal health, your kids, your faith walk. Actually having joy, not like deferring joy until you're 65. Like, let's have joy in the day. And I just think that is so cool to have that. So you talk about my favorite. My favorite oil is Grow too. But I mean, my favorite, this whole experience with Young Living is just embracing the heart behind it. Because so many times it's about the dollars and it's about, the growth. And I mean, we're all about that too. Like, I want you to have financial abundance. I want you to grow your business. But we can do this with this system. We can do this in a way that you don't sacrifice the other things that trust us, they're equally important.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do with it? Right? What are you going to do with the Infused 7 kit? I think the big lesson to be learned from all of this is get the oil on your body. right? Get it in your diffuser, breathe it in, get fired up. Not like a Red Bull, let's just say nitro instead, right? Like a big old glass of Ningxia. Get fired up, or just put some balance in to step back and think through and process some of those goals in your life. But I think the secret is you can do this. You are able to do it, but you got to start applying some of the oils and incorporating them into your routine.
His Vision Films.